Johnny X is getting another upgrade today. This one's hard to see, but it's easy to see the results. 2,130 pounds in the loader bucket, off the ground maybe 3 or 4 inches. Yeah, I'm going to talk through that today, what we did to make that happen. We'll look at some details as to why this may be about the max we can do. Got the scales here. We're going to be looking at axle weights. We're going to be doing our normal lift test to see how much we can lift to full height. I think you're going to find this interesting. Let's get started. Now, a lot of you conservative types are probably already commenting, oh, I would never do that, you're going to break the tractor. Well, in this case, you may be right. We probably are at the limits, and I think I'm at a good point here to kind of show some of the limits we may be facing. Look right here. That tire's squatty as can be. I haven't actually looked up the load rating of the tire itself. I'm sure some of you might say, well, just put a little air in it. I did. It's at 41 PSI. I think the book says something about the mid-20s is where the max is, and then I read somewhere in the loader manual, I believe, that you could add an extra 10 PSI if when you're using the loader, but we're over that even. So yeah, this is indicative right here that we're probably over any weight limits. I think this can be really educational. So yeah, we're pushing it, but I think it can be helpful to you. I think it can be helpful for you to realize when you are exceeding those limits. I think it can help you to understand some areas where we can maybe be a little more careful and keep from costing ourselves big money, right? But in our case, we're going to push it, and we're going to push it, but we're going to try to be somewhat responsible with how I actually operate it. I'm going to have to be careful if I run this machine like this, because yeah, I believe I can cause some damage here. I could blow one of these front tires. I can cause axle damage. There's going to be several things. So I'm going to have to be a little more maybe responsible, a little more thoughtful with how I actually run the machine in the past. Okay, how did we achieve this? 2,130 pounds. We increased the pressure relief valve to 2,900 PSI. Now the rating on the tractor is somewhere around 2,000, somewhere around 2,100, I believe, on a 2025R. Everything's the same between the hydraulic systems of the two, except they've just increased the pressure a little bit. That's how you get the increased loader capacity even with the same loader on the 2025R. So yeah, we've increased it to 2,900. We're not going to talk about how we've done that. If you're industrious enough to pursue this, you'll find it somewhere else. I don't want to go into that. Why 2,900 PSI? Why not, 4,000 or something just huge? And the answer is that the hoses and fittings on this machine are rated at 3,000 PSI. That's not a breaking point. They're rated to operate at that 3,000. So they can probably handle some instances of going over 3,000. But they're rated to operate at that, and I don't really want to exceed that rating. I'm not here to test every hose and every fitting. We may indeed find some O-rings, say in the couplers, that may burst. If we do, or if we have any cylinder issues, we will let you know. Again, that's part of the fun of this, right, is for us all to see, well, what breaks. It won't be so much fun for me when I have to pay the bill. And on that point, we know that everything we've done here to Johnny X, we've got no warranty here. We recognize that. Even though there would be some time left on the powertrain warranty, we recognize that we have walked away from that with all the changes that we made. So yeah, we'd be on the hook if we break something, and like I say, we will let you know if we do. That's part of the educational process. I think that's going to be part of the fun. I mentioned the front tires. We're putting a lot of stress on this front axle. Let me show you what we learned. If you're not into numbers, don't freak out, because I've got some simplifications here to show you. If you are into numbers, you can geek out with me, because I think there's some interesting stuff here in this graph. What we see along the x-axis, the bottom and heading to the right, is how much payload we've actually put in the loader. So we start out on the left side with no payload, and then I would add 200 pounds at a time, right? And I would then see the weights on the front axle and on the rear axle of the tractor. The gray line is how heavy the rear axle is. The orange line is the weight on the front axle. If you just look at the angles of these, you can see that the orange line is going up much more rapidly than the gray line is going down as we add more payload. What I saw was that for every 100 pounds I added to the front loader, I'll see 175 pounds of additional load on the front axle. Yeah, and roughly losing 75 pounds from the rear axle. So just adding 100 pounds adds 175 to the front axle. And I found that to be kind of scary, actually. Now understand, we're sitting still here. So any weights that we're seeing are static. You don't sit still in the real world. You bounce this thing. Even when you're going slowly, there's a good bit of bouncing. I don't know how to measure that. I don't have any way to measure while I'm moving to see how that would be, but I'm certain it's a big difference in the load. You go to the top number on this graph when I've got the full 2,130 pounds in it, and our front axle has 4,670 pounds on it. Now I say that's both sides, right? This is the total of both front wheels. But even then, each side would have what? 2,335 pounds on each front wheel. We were able to look this up on the Deere specifications, and it's rated at 1,349 pounds per each axle. Okay? So we are a long way over that rating. I'm sure the rating is somewhat conservative. Most of Deere's ratings are conservative. In fact, one thing we're learning so far is that this little tractor is quite overbuilt for the capacities that it's got. And I find that comforting myself because, well, we just know that when we're operating this thing at spec, it's going to hold up pretty well. At least that's my experience, and as we're pushing it to its limits, we're seeing that same thing. But with these numbers and the rear ballast that we've got on, I'll talk more about that in a minute, somewhere around 1,000 pounds, 1,100 pounds in the bucket would be putting the front axle at its specified weight. I think that's kind of interesting because operating at spec, I was able to get 1,200 or 1,300 pounds, maybe even 1,400 pounds off the ground, and that was about all. So yeah, and that was just barely off the ground. So operating with 1,000-pound load is about the max you would be able to get if you're operating a loader, say this far off the ground, at the specified PSI, 20, 100, 2,000, somewhere in there. About our rear ballast, we weighed this in the last episode. It's 750 pounds, our backhoe is. Probably by the time you add lift arms and our heavy hitch and all the weights on our heavy hitch, it'd be very similar. We might do this in a separate episode at some point where we actually change the amount of rear ballast to see what impact that has. Let us know in the comments if this is interesting or if you think that this is just geeking out and it's way too many numbers for you. But I do find it interesting, back to the graph here, that when we have that full weight on there, we've only got 430 pounds on each rear tire, and that's with all this rear ballast. That's pretty light. It's no wonder that you spin your wheels a little bit occasionally when you're trying to move around with a load. Your rear wheels want to spin. You have to operate in four-wheel drive. Well, makes sense. All the weight's on the front. That was 2130. I just removed 80. $5.5. $9.5. This will be 1,800. 1800. 14 and a half. 1,600. 22. Hey, a special thanks to HeavyHitch.com for supplying the weights for this test and all of our tests. They've got the cheapest shipping in the central U.S. all the way to the Northeast, anywhere. It's unbelievable. You can get all of this stuff shipped to you for like $100, $150. Nobody else can ship heavy stuff that easily. 5% discount, coupon code TTWT. Oh, and they have the best tooth bar for the loader on the market. Check it out. Whoa! Yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but the entire weight bracket fell over and hit our nice new cabinet here. Dented it all up. Thankfully, it didn't dent me up very much. You know, it seems like I have some sort of an accident with these weights about every time I try this. Yeah, so this is something to be very careful about. I put them all on one end because it's a lot easier, right? Not because it's best. I know it's not best, but that's why I was doing it. I took them off that way, worked fine. $33. That's 1,200 pounds. Let's say 46. I like doing this job with the self-leveling loader better than the non-self-leveling loader because it's easier for me to lower it back down to remove the weights. In the case of the 1 series loader, the 120Rs, the non-self-leveling and the self-leveling have almost identical performance. At max height, the self-leveling lifts a little bit more, but it doesn't lift quite as high. So when we show the graphs side by side, just like you're seeing right here, you can see that their lift capacities are essentially identical. Okay, we are at 1,000 pounds, right? This is my third function valve right here. It's not even hooked up. And there's an O-ring out of the coupler. I can see the O-ring protruding here. Now in this case, this hasn't even been hooked up to the 2,900 PSI Johnny X yet, I don't believe. So yeah, O-ring blown out right there. 62 and a half. I'm gonna take another 100 pounds out and see if I can get any higher. That's definitely full height. And yes, that's the same height we were before. Here are the final results. We've subtracted 2 inches off of each of the heights due to the scales. The yellow line is what we just measured today. You can see it starts at 2,130 pounds just off the ground, and we see 1,000 pounds at max height. Notice that the max height is about an inch less than the earlier tests. That's not a mistake. It's because the tires squished down so much. Overall, we've seen about a 700-pound increase right at ground level and a 400-pound or 67% increase at max height. Okay guys, we got 1,000 pounds at full height. Look at this. And no, there's no give in those scales. This give is all in the tires. And then of course the front axle pivots. I believe if I would work this hard enough, I could tip it over. I don't think I'm going to, at least before lunch, Christy. Thanks. But let me see if I can do this when it's lower. I don't think I'll be able to. I think this is because we've got this weight way up high, raises the center of gravity on this tractor. Okay, here we go. Now I can, no, I'm pushing. Notice it's going faster. What it does go is going faster. It doesn't have that big slow swing like a pendulum. But no, there's no way I could turn it over doing this. But I wasn't pulling very hard, I promise you, when I had the loader up. Now, guys, there's some danger here. And we've seen it time and time again. I even saw a tractor turn over without a loader. I saw a tractor turn over with a snow blade, snow blower, snow blade, but it wasn't a loader mount, it was a direct mount. He had a 1 series with a cab, Mauser cab, I believe, and was rolled over in the snow this week. So we've got to be careful of this, and I would just warn you again that if you do choose to increase your pressures, all of the risks that you have are just magnified, right? Not necessarily just the tractor's mechanical system, but you're able to carry heavier loads. And if you make mistakes, like carrying them too high, getting a little bit too fast, getting a little bit too bouncy, yeah, it'll spoil your day. Folks, you can see the graph right here. We had 1,000 pounds at full height. You'll see how the graph compares to the other 2 pressure measurements that I did in the past. I did an 1,800 PSI measurement and a 2,000 PSI measurement. You'll see that the 2,900 really increases across the board, whether you're low or high. You've heard our warnings about that, but you know, you have to make your own choices. We're doing this to get the extreme out of Johnny X. Yeah, we talked about experimental. You can call him Johnny X for experimental, but I like Johnny X for extreme. So I hope you're enjoying this series, and yeah, we'll be using the tractor more as it gets warmer. It's 5 degrees outside, and we haven't had any snow all winter, so we don't have an excuse to get out and go. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about the troubles we experienced in the province of Asia. We were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt we had received the sentence of death. But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God, who raises the dead. Guys, it's getting close. National Farm Machinery Show, Louisville, Kentucky. 11 a.m. each day at the Deere booth, 6:30 p.m. February 16th at W.W. Cousins St. Matthews location. Lots of our partners as well as lots of other viewers will be there. For example, Heavy Hitch, Bolt-On Hooks, Discount Hydraulic Hose, AHW, Edge Tamers, maybe Hydros Plus. We'll see you there.